Hello everybody, WaffleTime here. Minecraft is just one of those games that holds so much nostalgia to an incredible amount of people, myself included. This game has always held a fond place in my heart because, as a variety of creators much smarter than myself have proven, you can do absolutely anything in it. Some even argue it's one of the few perfect sandbox games out there. But you know what I haven't really tried to do? Even through my many years of casually playing Minecraft, I've never tried saving my future children's college funds instead of drinking 1 million beers and putting it all on red. I've also never tried legitimately running through some hardcore mode, which is precisely what we're going to be starting today. A few quick notes before we start. Number 1, we're playing in vanilla. No modded MC for this run. Our main goal for this episode is to get comfortable and well established in our world by doing things such as setting up villager trading, building ourselves a nice, comfortable home, and building some auto farms while we're at it. We want to get full diamond and or netherite armor because I'm scared of anything that moves in hardcore. And lastly, we want to toss the Ender Dragon salad. So, can someone who is entirely, cripplingly mediocre at Minecraft live a long, healthy life in hardcore? Truly, there's only one way to find out. Let's get started, shall we? We load into our world, immediately petrified beyond human comprehension at a measly breeze. I don't know what it is about hardcore. I don't know if it's, because I'm ass cheeks at the game, but the simple sound of a twig breaking is enough to send me into cardiac arrest. We start this hardcore run as any true gamer shall, getting a crippling amount of wood, as well as punching trees to collect planks and logs. Now that we have our first of many sexual innuendos out of the way, we make our first crafting table as well as a boat and a wood pickaxe. The reason for us crafting this illustrious yacht is that I fucking love chunk base. I don't care what anyone says. It's from heaven. Upon checking out our world seed, however, I found that we're actually incredibly close to a mushroom island, which if you didn't know is true hardcore salvation, especially for someone who's a hardcore coward, such as yours truly. We gather some saplings as well as some sugarcane we found, and make our way to what I'll be humbly referring to just this once as WaffleTime's mushroom stamp. Seeing as it was already incredibly close to our spawn, we waltz our happy asses right up the shore, and collect our first bit of cobble, making ourselves a stone pickaxe shortly after. Humble goddamn beginnings. Soon enough, the sun sets and night arrives while we have no home, no sword, no balls, and no future. Then the realization hits me that we're on a mushroom island and are quite literally as fine can be. So we do what anyone would do in my situation, and milk some soup out of a cow with fungus growing out of it. I don't know about you guys, but I like to stay away from that canned slop we're given these days. I like my soup straight from the udder. After watching a beautiful sunrise and feeling that gorgeous, nostalgic tranquility that Minecraft hand delivers to us all, we head to a nearby village with a cool, calm, collected head, and rip the goddamn village to shreds. We take these idiots for everything they have. We take composters, beetroot seeds, wheat seeds, stare at a camel for a moment. That thing's kind of fucked up, isn't it? We get stacks of hay, steel beds, chests, melon seeds, and not feeling satisfied enough from our ruthless village robbery, we go on to steal a whole ass villager as a cherry on top, heading directly back to mushroom heaven. We pull up and are immediately gunned down in the streets of Brazil. That's right, a drowned with a trident takes half of our health in one fell swoop. And it should go without saying that after escaping, I'll live in fear for the rest of my short, miserable days here on this earth. Upon making our way up, we see that the drowned decided to shit on us even more by slurping our villager to death while we weren't looking. I'll be taking this one out on my future family, and I hope that drowned will never forget it. This time, however, we'll be prepared. We make a stone shovel, dig out a trench to deposit our future villagers, and gear up with a stone sword as well. To top that off, we make a furnace, as well as some charcoal to make torches, and light up our surrounding area a bit to hopefully lessen the chance of the great drowned incident of 2025 occurring once more. We head back to the village, find another villager, and drop him off in the bin back at home. We sleep till day and repeat the same process, heading to the village, collecting an absolute goddamn buffoon and dropping his ass off in the bin as well. After dooming that village to starve to death in the coming weeks, we jump around and decide what to do next, chopping wood and replanting the saplings in the meantime. It's here where I decide we should probably have some sort of starter base to live out of before we get into making our real starter base. And what better to make your starter base out of than dirt? We lay down a quick foundation and bada bing bada goddamn boom, we have ourselves a fucking masterpiece of a home. $8,700 a month in rent, no utilities, no roof, no decorations either. But when the crafting table and the furnace go next to that bed, it's a goddamn home. We add a chest to throw our items into, slap some torches around it, and voila, chef's kiss, we're ready for some steamy and creamy game progression. What's a starter base without a shit-ass mine? We craft a ton of ladders and begin tunneling down, finding some coal on the way. Thank Christ. Because using charcoal for an extended period of time does unspeakable things to my mental well-being. Upon going down some more, we find an insane looking underwater cave. And after catching a trident with my left testicle earlier on in this playthrough, we decide to play it safe and collect more wood for ladders, as well as more dirt to build down with. Quick side note here, these giant oak trees make me want to run through a fucking wall out of raw rage. Anyways, back at the mine, we wall off each side of our tunnel so no tridents can bite my meat off, then fill it with dirt to get rid of any trace of water, and keep chopping away once more. At about Y11, we stumble into our first cave system, finding a very solid amount of iron which we immediately take topside to smelt, and turn into a shield, as well as an iron pickaxe, so we're diamond ready. We find more iron, some beautiful redstone, as well as some delectable gold. There's plenty of redstone and gold to go around in this cave, as well as plenty of lapis and coal to top it all off. We wall off our ladder setup and dig down some more, finding some lapis, then finding our first vein of motherfucking diamonds at long last. We find 3 total, but with our bum-ass unenchanted iron pickaxe with no fortune on it, we actually get 3 total. Further down, we find another cave entrance, and of course, pluck the cave dry of its resources such as gold and lapis for our own financial gain. We find more diamonds as well, but this time it's a 5 vein, bringing our total diamond count to 8 so far. We waltz around the cave some more, collecting every ore we could find along the way, getting plenty of redstone, iron, and gold in our adventure. Soon enough, we wall off our mine once more and head up to put away our loot. We make ourselves a bucket for our troubles, as well as a sugarcane farm, which has won several awards on account of how god-awful it is, and find a wandering trader who was pretty much begging me to put him out of his misery. Going this long without even an ounce of swag physically pains me inside, so we make a full set of iron armor, just before taking our mine down to Diamond City Y level, and trapdooring it off so we don't fall in, which I absolutely without a doubt in my mind would've. Now that our mine is set up for chopping away in the deep slate for a crumb of diamond dussy, it's time we get our villager game going to advance this playthrough even further. We start by collecting a bunch of dirt for a platform and build out a bit on the outskirts of our island, walling it off shortly after. This is where I'll personally breed each villager myself. That's where the villagers will raise a happy family together with no WaffleTime involvement. We cart the villagers over, and to get their gears lubed up and going, we set the scene with some beds and bread. Apparently, all a couple of freaks need to get the party started. Realizing it'd be smart to expand the shoddy villager breeder as much as possible, we hit the village once again for more beds and wheat, then get home to find they've already rocked each other's socks right the fuck off and had a baby. This is excellent news for us, as the more babies they pump out, the more workers we can have. The more the family will expand. Yes. While love is in the air, we listen to our villagers absolutely gun each other's cheeks while watching the sunset. While we wait for our villagers to bang some more, we make use of our free time by hitting our mine and gathering some more ores, collecting a metric ass ton of iron, redstone, and lapis along the way. We come across a spider, and seeing as we're 6'10", 250 pounds and have testosterone just bursting out of us, we take the manly approach and leave immediately out of extraordinary fear. To feel better about myself on the inside, I decide to upgrade our gorgeous starter house. And I know I didn't think it could possibly get better either, but upon adding an actual roof and a border on said roof, we know we're a goddamn modern artiste like the world has never seen. With our confidence maxed out once more, and our manhood still feeble but slightly rejuvenated, we hit the mines once again to collect some ores, and beat the piss out of some enemies, giving a baby zombie the Plan C combo. We find an abandoned mine shaft as well, rich with delectable goodies to stuff into our gamer pockets. Upon returning to the surface, it's very easy to realize there's a particular lack of villager baby making noises. It's clear and apparent they need more beds, but there's no way to grind spiders, or sheep for wool for that matter, on a mushroom island, and I'd rather shit in my hands and clap than have to deal with cave spiders in hardcore. So we begin working on an auto string duplicator to bless us with infinite string, meaning infinite beds, meaning infinite villager sex compilation, meaning infinite workers for us. It's nothing but wins here at WaffleTime Inc. So let's get this party started. We throw down a few dispensers, some tripwire hook, and bam, they fucking patched it. Have no fear, ladies, and hold those nuts, gentlemen, because we can build a different type of string duper. We cook up another, starting with a row of chests, then a row of hoppers, trap doors, a lever, some tripwire hooks. Started. It's patched. God damn it. We decide to pay a visit to a neighboring village to the village we already completely decimated, with a new, innovative solution to all of our issues. More village destruction, ransacking, and famine. Truly the scratch to all itches. We did find a ruined obsidian portal on the way. Free gold, helmets, and tools too. I love me some mid-ass gear any time of day. Anyways, we robbed the next village blind as well, taking every bed imaginable, and saving a happy couple 18 years of grief in the meantime. Once we're finished looting, we head back home and slap all the beds we rightfully obtained in the villager containment unit. We feed the absolute buffoon some more bread, and once again watch the sunset with villager breeding noises blessing our ears once more. Upon further inspection, an iron golem appeared in the breeder, so we do what we do best, and use him as an example to prevent any acts of rebellion from our villagers. Realizing now we're out of sex fuel for our villagers, we decide it's best to start growing carrots and potatoes, which thankfully we have fucking neither of. We decide to head to another village somewhat nearby and manage to find an abandoned shipwreck on the way, which contained potatoes and pumpkins. Hot, sensual, and fantastic if I do say so myself. We rob the village of even more potatoes upon arriving, take their iron tools and fancy villager equipment, carrots, and even more potatoes as well. Not even the beds were spared. After plundering that village so hard it went backwards on the evolutionary chart, we head home, place all the beds in the villager shag shack, and clear out some land to make a shitty potato farm to keep our villagers a-pumpin'. We follow this up by making an equally as cheeks carrot farm, and do the same for melon and pumpkin as well, so we're armed to the goddamn teeth in regard to future villager trades. After a lot of AFKing, harvesting, and replanting our crops, boom! Check that shit out, juicy ass yields. Mediocre as fuck. But mother of God, it gets the job done. We slap down a composter and immediately get to work, trading our brand new farmer a handful of potatoes. And once he's grown some goddamn balls and wants to trade more, we give him pumpkins as well, scoring many emeralds along the way. Our next mission is to obtain some practically free diamond tools, so we make a smithing table and slap that down as well. Our first trade is stone pickaxes. There is not enough. I have no goddamn coal. So we briefly peer into the depths of Dante's Inferno and trade stone pickaxes about 1,000 times. We kill a couple of cows to make books, make a lectern, and slap that down as well to trade paper for emeralds. We keep grinding out those emeralds with crops and paper, slap down some lanterns around the villager shag shack to get them freaky beyond human comprehension, then sacrifice all of our iron we've ever held on our beloved toolsmith, because I am not trading 32 fucking emeralds for one measly bell. We buy out his enchanted iron tools to level him up some more, and finally work our way to expert level trades, giving us the option for efficiency 1 diamond shovels. Why the hell not? We trade repeatedly in a similar fashion to Sisyphus, and 7 total enchanted diamond shovels later, our toolsmith also grows a fat pair of nuts and offers us an unbreaking 2 diamond pickaxe. Nice, nice, nice. We grind more crops, kill a wandering trader in cold blood because there's no law enforcement to save him here, and wham bam right in the clam we have our first diamond pickaxe. Beautiful! For more emerald market saturation, we make a fletching table as well to trade sticks for some easy emerald action. Now that we have some delectable tools, however, it's only right we have some armor. With this being said, we make a blast furnace, slap it down, and regrettably trade for 1 billion iron helmets, promptly throwing them in the ocean where they belong. Now that we're out of emeralds, we tend to our crops and do more trading, then spend all of our hard-earned cash money on some iron pants, which also get the car battery in the ocean treatment from us. You'll never guess what we do next. We tend to more goddamn crops, which as we're finding, is taking a goddamn stupid amount of time. We trade for infinite shields next, and actually keep them this time because I'm terrified of hardcore. At long last, we unlock fire protection 1 diamond boots, and protection 2 unbreaking 3 diamond leggings. Sexual. We, however, have not a single goddamn emerald to blow, so it's at this point where we decide a small iron farm is greatly warranted. This will help extraordinarily not only with easy emerald trades, but for hoppers and beacons in the future as well. The iron farm we're about to build is directly from Voltrox, who has many go-to tutorials on the channel, and of which we'll likely use plenty of times in the future. The link to Voltrox's video for this iron farm in particular is down in the description for those who are interested. We start by digging a 5x5 hole 2 deep and build a 7x5 wall connected to the hole, which is too tall. We slap down a few barrels, then throw buttons on top of them to prevent shit from spawning and ruining our lives. At this point we need beds, and unfortunately for us, all the beds we have in the villager shag shack are covered with mysterious stains. So we make a shepherd villager and grind out some trades. We trade for some pink wool, the manliest goddamn shade of wool in Minecraft if you will. Then we make 3 beds, slap them down next to the barrels, throw a few slabs at the foot of the beds, slap some goddamn buttons on top of it all to prevent hostile mobs from giving us and our villagers the bad touch. And now we need the villagers. We need 3 of the bastards total, so we make some rails and a minecart, and go through an existential fucking crisis trying to get our first villager into the farm, but managed to do it after balding entirely. It's here where I'm informed we could actually put these idiots in boats and drag them in with a lead. So we use this method to get both the second as well as the third villager in. Thank God that shit's over with, as it took much longer than I'd like to admit due to villagers making me want to pluck my eyebrows out and tattoo them back on. To stop iron golems from spawning outside where we want them to, we turn the dirt surrounding the farm into path blocks. Here's how it looks so far, check it out. We slap down a hopper and chest to collect the loot, then place a sign on the hopper followed by double signs on each side of the pit of doom and misfortune. We head down our mine, grab some lava, throw it in the middle of the pit, then put water in each corner to push the buffoons into lava. Last but not least, we need to trap a zombie in here to have the villagers constantly shitting their pants in order for iron golems to spawn to begin with. So we position a boat in the middle of our beds to ready the trap. Since no zombies spawn on our beautiful mushroom island, we make a dirt platform just out of the biome to hopefully get a spawn. We tend to our crops till night, then see, wow, absolutely nothing is spawning on our platform. We expand it a bit, run back and forth, find skeletons. Run back and forth more, find absolutely nothing besides spiders, skeletons, and creepers. And just as we're giving up hope, we spot the zombie we oh so desire. We lure him up from the platform, do some sick boat hurdle parkour, and the fucking idiot falls for it. And as punishment, is now trapped for eternity. We patch the holes in the farm and catch an absolute whiff of iron golem barbecue. We check our chest and see it's actually working. Our first victim has been atomized already. After circling around our farm once more, we come across yet another iron golem being absolutely vaporized, meaning this farm is absolutely working. To celebrate, we take down the failed string duplicators we made, while we listen to iron golems scream in horrendous agony, which is music to our goddamn ears. In order to complete the task we were on to begin with, we grind out some emeralds while our farm is working, and grab ourselves some Protection 1 diamond boots. We grind more, grab the Protection 2 Unbreaking 3 diamond leggings, then collect some of the juicy yields from our iron farm, and see it's working very efficiently. Fucking nice. We max out our trades with the armorer, and he reveals a Fire Protection 1 diamond helmet, alongside a Protection 2 Thorns 1 Unbreaking 2 diamond chestplate. We get the helmet immediately, then while we wait for more iron to produce, we remove the mob spawn platform we made earlier so nothing touches us while we're gaming. After trading more iron and crops, we at long last get our final piece of diamond armor, the diamond chestplate. And it should go without saying that at this point in time, the swag is immeasurable, with a newfound confidence that could blow over with even the slightest breeze. I decide it's time for us to venture into the Nether. We gotta go there at some point, right? We visit a ruined portal in the ocean that we spotted earlier to see if it was salvageable, and managed to get a whole single obsidian from the chest down there. But I shit my pants at the idea of another trident slapping my meat off the bone, so we leave immediately. Perhaps it's a better idea to dig for a lava pool, since on that beat we might be able to score some diamonds as well. We find 1. Then find a pool of lava shortly after, turning it into obsidian, then chopping away for what felt like hours of my life that I'll never get back. We get just enough for a portal, as well as for an enchanting table that we can absolutely freak it on down the line. We get topside, make the portal, and spark it up, entering immediately. Our nether spawn reveals a crimson forest, which I hate, goddamn hate, because there's evil pigs that want to stroke me silly at every turn. We leave, craft some gold boots to throw on, and head back in for a little look-see. Looking around further, there's not much but, you guessed it, crimson forest out the ass. So we collect some quartz for our redstone crafting desires, and take our leave once more. After AFKing by the iron farm, we find that we've obtained enough iron to goddamn drown in, which is beautiful, as we'll need every bit of it we could get. With this iron, we make our first anvil and combine an outlandish amount of efficiency 1 diamond shovels until we have one that's efficiency 3. Why, I hear you ask? Because we need a gobsmacking amount of dirt to move out of our crack house and begin work on our future crack home. While it'll still be a starter base for us, it'll be an incredible upgrade from our former abode. We start by flattening out a ton of land to make way for what's to come. And by doing this, we're gathering a valuable commodity for creating our true starter base. That's right, we're gonna make this motherfucker out of dirt. We'll go for a nature-y vibe once we've built this bad boy up, but dominantly, this will be a dirt palace for us to live out many of our coming days. We start by making what'll be a doorway, then make walls coming off of said doorway, with long walls that follow that, framing what'll be a large corridor and chest room. We heighten the walls a bit to see how it's coming along, and here's how it looks so far. I like it, so we heighten the walls further, using pathway blocks to see where where the middle is on each side of our base, we mark where each side can lead out to a different section of our base. To make this structure have even more sauce, we heighten the walls once more, and to give the walls some more savor for the goddamn flavor, we add a base as well as pillars to the exterior, simply to give the outside a cute little pop. This is where another part of our starter base that's indispensable to our future needs comes in, the villager trading hall. We flatten out the quote-unquote backyard of our base and make homes for our villagers, where they're gonna have to live out the remainder of their miserable days. We put more of these average overpriced California studio apartments on the other side as well. Now that we have a place to put the absolute bastards, it's time to grind for some trades. We yoink our first 2 villagers, show them to their new homes. We show them to their new homes. Make 2 lecterns and grind the first one until we get efficiency 4, and grind the second until we get power 5. I'm really only after some better enchants for the toolies at this point, but I'll take anything that looks pretty, and that might benefit us in the future.
I am starving, brother. As am I, brother.
We repeat the process, getting fortune 3, relocating more absolute freaks, get looting 3, then unbreaking 3. We bring another villager along with our Fletcher, and the Fletcher, for some unknown, unapparent reason, decides to spaz out so hard that I get a hernia and feel more tempted than ever to blow his head smooth off. We hold off on that, however, as we have a lot of work to do. We keep grinding, get sharpness 4 and totally settle for it, then get mending, which makes me more happy and joyous and whimsical than my future family ever will. We throw efficiency 4 and mending on our diamond axe, which is precisely when I realize I'll not only need a way to actually mend our tools, but we'll also need many more levels if we're going to be enchanting our gear. High praise once more to Chunk Base, because after a quick search I found there was a skeleton spawner right under our noses all along. For this skeleton spawner farm I'll be following a tutorial from Oink Oink, which will be in the description for anyone interested. First and foremost, we go down our mine and mine our way to the spawner, quickly tossing some skeleton salad, and lighting up the room shortly after. We take out all the cobblestone walls to widen the area slightly, then take the floor down by 2 so these absolute buffoons fall directly into our trap. In order to push them, we make an infinite water source and throw water in all 4 of the corners, and dig right down the middle to begin work on our kill room. The kill room is simple, consisting of a simple hopper leading into a chest, some slabs in the kill chamber so we don't get aired out by a legion of skeletons, and lastly we wall off the area for a very fragile, very feeble sense of security. We make a tunnel from our kill room to our mine, take all the lights out of the spawn room, get our shit rocked so unfathomably hard that our hairline recedes to the top of our heads, then finally head to the kill room and see the farms working already. Using a stone sword for that Kirkland brand sweeping edge, we spank skeletons until our axe heals up to a comfortable level. With our axe feeling much better, we abuse it even more by chopping trees in order to make chests. That's right, we're beginning work on the storage room, so we slap down a ton of chests in line with the long side of the walls in our base. The goal is to fill up each corner with chests, so this is going to take, you guessed it, a stupid goddamn amount of time. In order to save even a fraction of our lifespan, we hit a nearby birch forest and go balls to the walls on chopping. We head back up, chest up an entire side of our home and think, wow, the quick stack future from Terraria never felt more hot than right now. But you know what? Wishful thinking will be the thing to kill us early. We're vanilla maxing this playthrough and we'll stick with it. Seeing as we have an infinite supply of bones from our skeleton spawner, we use a ton for bone meal and make a wall of birch, chopping it all up and making even more chests to finally finish off our storage area. Here's how the abomination came out. Beautiful! To spruce the place up a little bit, we gather some birch leaves and lay them inside the storage room, simply for that decorative cuteness. You know how this shit goes, you try some ideas, hate some ideas, but at the end of it all, we stick with leaves in the corners as well as over our chests to beautify the room a bit. Our side goal currently is to beef ourselves the living hell up, so we make a diamond sword and hit some creamy villager trades, enchanting our diamond sword with sharpness 4, looting 3, and unbreaking 3. Unfortunately for us, we run out of levels faster than Plan B's sell out on Valentine's Day, so we simply trade with a villager for some easy experience and finally slap mending on our sword. What's a Minecraft playthrough if not running around with your thumb planted firmly up your ass thinking of what to do next? Right, the storage room. We need a way to organize our items somewhat efficiently, so with our new saucy ass blade, we kill some mushrooms for their leather, make item frames and slap them on the leaves above our chests. I spend what feels like the next 94 lifetimes organizing our new chest area, marking each column and migrating the crippling amount of unorganized items from our old place to the new one. While it is horrendously tedious work that makes me want to shave my head bald entirely in a fit of rage, it's incredibly satisfying to actually have a place to put our items away in an organized fashion. Back on the grueling villager trade grind, we bring over more villagers, get infinity, sexy silk touch, then grind out some trades with our pre-existing villagers to get efficiency 4, unbreaking 3, and mending on our shovel. Running out of levels for silk touch. I'll be taking this one out on the villagers behind closed doors. Anyways, I figured it'd be a smart idea to get emeralds and levels, so we make our next batch of villagers into toolsmiths, simply for those delectable iron trades. We trade a bunch and finally get silk touch on our diamond shovel. To celebrate, we find the luckiest mushroom in the world and bring it back to the new crib to tie up. That way, we can milk soup out of one mushroom eternally. Infinite soup, fresh from the udder. How fantastic is that? We're rudely interrupted by a wandering trader at this time, so we do what we do best and purchase eye blossoms from him. Because what the fuck are eye blossoms? And purchase gunpowder as well, since we'll need heaps of it later. He has some decent trades, so we'll spare him. Just kidding, this will be his last stop entirely, simply for existing. Anyways, back on the grind, we keep slapping around some librarians and get Feather Falling 3, which we absolutely settle for, and Protection 4, which is fucking creamy. We purchase a handful of Protection 4 books and put it on all of our pieces of armor immediately, along with Feather Falling 4 on our boots. I feel much safer in my own skin now. Our next step is a little bit of a decorative venture, but I decided that some actual grass would be incredible to have in the base rather than mycelium, which is goddamn everywhere. With this being said, we go to the nearest plane of grass and chop it up, then return to our base and slap it all over the floor. This is great, since when we need more grass, we could always chop a chunk from here and let it grow over more dirt. That on top of the fact that, seeing legitimate grass in the base somehow feels like a tremendous victory. In layman's terms, that shit's pretty. Do you ever come up with a simple goal only to find that you need to complete about 37,000 more goals in order to execute said simple goal? Yeah, same. It makes me want to chew aluminum foil for hours on end. This is precisely what happens next, as I wanted to set up a cool looking area connected to our base for enchanting. We'll certainly need a lot of bookshelves for that, so we trade our librarian villagers for as many as we can get our grubby gamer hands on. We begin placing them in a half-dome shape coming out of the right side of our base. We want this enchanting room to look stupid majestic, which is precisely our goddamn problem. You see, the issue comes in with the villagers. We need bookshelves for the enchanting station to work efficiently, but we need emeralds to trade with the villagers. But we're nearly out of iron to trade for emeralds, so we're either left with our thumbs planted right up our chocolate love tunnel while we wait for more iron, or we have to come up with something else. Melon and pumpkin trades are very profitable and pretty easily automatable, so you know what? Fuck it, we ball. We flatten out the land on the left side of our base near the iron farm, covering up goddamn sinkhole de Mayo in the process, then make a second shovel with efficiency 4 so we could get dirt instead of mycelium while we're terraforming. We throw water next to where the crops will grow, make a bunch of observers and slap them down on both sides, trying to be sparing because making observers physically pains me inside, and I'm not too concerned with crazy efficiency for now. I really just want something that works while we're jacking off in the next room over. We throw glass over the water and in front of the farm to help secure our fat melons and pumpkins. Then we make a bunch of pistons, slap those down in the farm, run out of pistons, get efficiency on our pickaxe, chop fat stacks of cobble, and make even more pistons to slap down. We throw down hoppers and a railway under the farm along with a hopper minecart to do our bidding eternally. Then connect redstone from the observers to the pistons, plant pumpkin seeds, bone meal them, then wait. And wait, and wait. Oh, look at that, the farm's working, kind of. It's not totally efficient and it might get stuck if we don't put down more observers, but it's working for now and I'll goddamn take it. We plan to repeat the process on what'll be our melon farm as well, but while we're at it, we keep buying more bookshelves and placing them where our future enchanting station's gonna be, then head immediately back to work on the melon gulag. The process repeats. Pistons, plant melons, connect redstone, set up chests, hoppers, railway collection system, and bam, mediocre melon farm is kinda working. Hell yeah, brother. We trade for more bookshelves and finally place our enchanting table in our rough sketch of an enchanting room. That felt good. That felt like progress, I think. Nice. Seeing as we're running dry on resources from our redstone ventures, we slap Fortune 3 on our pickaxe and go on a quick mining trip, getting heaps of redstone, diamonds, gold, more diamonds, even more diamonds, then some more classic cobblestone to round it all off. We now have a total of 22 diamonds. Check that shit out. Now that we have beefed up tools and armor, we dive head first deep into the anal crevices of the Nether to hack away for some ancient debris. That way, before we lay pipe on a dragon, we have full netherite armor. Digging along a chunk border, we actually managed to find some, giving us motivation to mine for what certainly felt like 12 hours of my life that I'll never get back, and end up with a grand total of 3. Speaking of the Nether, it's here where I realized I'd not only like to degrade and bully cleric villagers for their redstone trades, but we also need blaze powder for Eyes of Ender to use at a stronghold when the time comes. So we make an extremely sketchy, incredibly ass-clenching bridge all the way to a nearby nether fortress. Unfortunately, however, before we could get there, we run out of bridging materials that don't fold like an omelet under the weight of some gas titties. So we double back home and collect more cobble before going back to literal bridge hell once more. 20 minutes of clenching my ass cheeks so hard they could compress a phone book later, and we finally arrive at the nether fortress. We mine our way up and are instantly greeted by holy blaze hellfire and wither skeletons trying to dry stroke me. We of course trap ourselves in cobblestone out of fear for our lives, yet slowly but surely manage to take them all out, along with our first blaze. We're getting lit the fuck up, don't get me wrong, but we keep on taking blazes out by comparing our rod sizes. We managed to get ourselves some nether wart, some magma cube juice, a chest with 3 diamonds in a saddle, a chest with 2 diamonds in a saddle, and another chest with a single diamond and more delectable goodies for us to hoard. We kill a couple more blazes and leave immediately, stressing out so horrendously because a walking piece of bacon is trying to make an attempt on our lives, that all of our hair falls out, giving us 2 options as a bald man: astronaut or porn star, and brother, I don't know a goddamn thing about rockets. Anyways, we make it home in one piece and immediately make a brewing stand, as well as plant our nether wart for future potion crafting. Since we've been all over the place, the iron farm yields have been delectable. We use this iron to trade more for bookshelves and stack them on up. I have this really funny habit where when a task is taking too long, I derail into another task that's taking too long, and when that task is taking too long, I switch back to the former task, so you're about to see a gobsmacking amount of that. Our 2 goals are A, preparing further for clapping some ender dragon cheeks, and B, turning this goddamn house into a home. On the subject of ender dragon cheeks, task A, we have plenty of blaze rods now, so we hit the nether once more and kill a ton of endermen since we need to turn their nards into eyes of ender to access the end to begin with. We make a total of 12 eyes of ender to be safe and ready for battle. Task B, our melon and pumpkin farms are working like absolute dog shit, so we sail far away to our nearest swamp, wait till night, and degrade several slimes in order to make sticky pistons. We get home and gather the components to make hopper clocks for our farms, then promptly face 2 hoppers into each other, throw some blocks and redstone by its side, slap some comparators down next to the hoppers, throw down some sticky pistons and a redstone block, throw some items in the mix, and wham bam right in the clam, we have ourselves a hopper clock. To make sure we're getting decently efficient yields from this bad boy, we connect an observer to the clock to sense the pistons updating, and connect redstone throughout our farm. This works much better than our former god-awful system, so we repeat the same exact process for the melon farm. Hell yeah, brother. Task A, we need a bow if we're gonna slap around the ender dragon from a distance, and we need to take out those god-forsaken end crystal pillars as well, so let's beef one up. We trade with our villagers, make a bow, and enchant it with power 5, unbreaking 3, as well as infinity. Nice. Task B, we finally complete our bookshelf foundation for our enchanting room, and it's looking pretty goddamn sick so far, so we adorn it with the finest of dirt, broken up by even more bookshelves. I want grass to be in the enchanting area to really help make the area pop and make it feel more lively, so we block off the mycelium and lay dirt around the area for grass to spread to. Once we finally finish off bookshelf trading and lay down the last of the bookshelves in the enchanting area, we see it's looking quite glorious, but it's time to give it a roof. We make the roof slowly angle inwards, giving us that half dome shape we were foaming at the mouth over, and add grass to spread on top. Lo and behold, I think it looks pretty goddamn sick. There's certainly more we're gonna have to do to decorate it, but for now, we add cool angles and grass to the outside of our humble dirt palace. We repeat this process for all sides and corners, making the base look and feel much more vibrant. It's here I decide Shroomlight's gonna look sexy as hell in this enchanting area, so we hit the nether, collect only a spoonful, and lay it down on the floor. That's looking hot. Speaking of needing a roof, rain has been pouring in our chest hub ever since the dawn of fucking time, and it's driving me insane. So it's time to make a roof for the heart of our base. We start by making large arching doorways on both the front and back end of our base, and I think it came out pretty good. We make shorter doorways for the sides of our home that lead to the iron farm in the enchanting area, which brings us to our next issue. I want to connect these bad boys up, but I want it to have texture. So we connect the short doorways first, straight on, giving us a gauge on how far we're going to need to angle the tall doorways down to meet this bridge. After working to see what angle looks best, we land on one that seems to flow quite well, making it a simple matter of connecting all parts of the tall doorway to the middle following this format. As soon as that's complete, we simply fill in the empty corners and voila, chef's kiss, French kiss. We have ourselves a goddamn roof. Now look, I may be biased here, and granted there's no lighting or decorations to really beautify it up yet, but here's how it looks, and I think it's sexy as hell. Up next, we remove the mycelium from the villager trading hall path and replace it with dirt so that grass can spread to it. While we wait for that to spread, we mirror the enchanting area structure on the opposing side of it. My thoughts are we need an area to smelt our items, and hot diggity dog, this may be the perfect goddamn spot for it. We build it up, then add grass to the floor to bring it all together. Lastly, in order to temporarily fix the crippling lighting crisis that's now plaguing our base because of the new roof installation, we slap up some lanterns so we can actually see where we're going until we have a more permanent solution. Back on task A, it took me this long to officially realize we can't make netherite armor anymore unless we have smithing templates, which makes me want to fold my monitor in half several times over, because we have to go to a goddamn evil pig lair, aka a bastion, to get one. We mark the coordinates of the nearest bastion and begin building our way over. Eventually we make it, and listen, I may be 6'10", 250 pounds of raw testosterone and gamer fury, but I am scared for my goddamn life around here. So we attempt to mine around the outskirts to avoid getting a two-piece combo from a piglin brute. At long last, we break in, keeping blocks around us at all times to play it safe. After slamming a couple of brutes, we work our way toward the prize and finally make it, getting the smithing template we so desired, along with a piece of netherite and a piece of debris. What an excellent haul. This calls for celebration. What do we do to celebrate, you ask? Leave immediately and weep quietly in our humble abode. Thank Christ we don't have to do that anymore, because now we can dupe smithing templates. And while it may cost every hard-earned diamond we've ever earned in our entire lives, it's a small price to pay in comparison with going back to pig hell. We duplicate until we have 5 total, 4 for the armor and 1 more to dupe again later for our tools. Theoretically, all we need now is 2 more netherite and we have ourselves a jaw-dropping set of netherite armor drip. To beef up our armor before we netherite it up, we put unbreaking 3 and mending on every last piece to ensure it stays with us for the remainder of our days. On that note, we also get sharpness 5 on our sword to spank the ender dragon that much harder. We smelt up our ancient debris, get our second netherite, and throw them on our helmet as well as our chest plate. The swag, yet again, is immeasurable and goddamn does it feel incredible. In order to feel even safer in our own skin, we want to work toward finishing off our set, so we strip mine for more ancient debris for what feels like years. Strip mining for ancient debris may feel like you're in an undiscovered level of Dante's Inferno, but this time it's certainly paid off, as we managed to score a healthy handful simply chopping away. A total of 4 to be exact. With that being said, we head home immediately, smelt it up and slap it on our pants as well. Wanting to finish our delectable set of armor so we could swag max all over the mobs that come our way, we mine for more ancient debris for even more hours of my life that I'll never ever get back and managed to find 2. And after digging some more, managed to find another 2, which is precisely what the goddamn doctor ordered. We head back home and immediately smelt it up, make the ingot, and slap it on our boots, giving us the enchanted Netherite 11's mint condition lightly worn. In regard to our tools, I'll wait till we've clapped some ender dragon cheeks before worrying about that. Something I do want, however, is a second chance in life, and a third, and a fourth. The way we do this, of course, is by automating totems of undying. This guarantees worst case scenario that we at least have a second shot at the ender dragon if she decides to go wacko mode on our asses. In order to automate totems of undying, we'll need a raid farm. And in this day and age, in order to have a functioning raid farm, you must first have a functioning ominous potion farm. So double gulp fuck me, we have work to do. The ominous potion farm we're about to dive headfirst into is directly from Chapman Farms, and like the others, I'll have the link in the description for the tutorial for your convenience. We start by gathering the components to the farm, such as iron blocks, jack-o'-lanterns, plenty of obsidian, glass, water, lava, and some various other components to get positively silly with. With our items, we haul ass to the nearest pillager outpost, and upon arriving, we find a horn in the chest and get outlandishly horny with it before burning the place to the goddamn ground and slaughtering masses of pillagers in the process. Of course, there's plenty of blocks left we need gone, so we get to chopping it all immediately. Mr. Pillager, a second Steve, has hit the pillager outpost. Once that's done, we mark the middle of the outpost and slap down some obsidian portals on all 4 sides. Next, we fence off the entire area from portal to portal and spark those bad boys up. We place water in 4 quadrants of where the outpost used to be, then place water in each corner where the fences meet as well. After that, we slap down some goofy ass iron golems in the middle for pillagers to target, and now it's time for us to go through the portal and make the kill. I am fighting for my goddamn life. After totally doom eternaling the pillagers that decided to walk back to where they came from, we make the kill chamber around the portal with chests and glass on both sides, and on the way out drop lava on both sides, nearly cooking ourselves into some medium rare WaffleTime man meat, but thankfully coming out in one piece. We throw some hoppers under the portal we just came out of, then break the obsidian blocks at the bottom and angle rails toward the hopper, replacing the block and jamming a hopper minecart right up its chocolate starfish to collect all of our spoils. We connect a chest to the hoppers and break all of our temporary safety blocks, just about completing the farm for us. For a quick test, we build up a ton to test it out and see that the goddamn buffoons are in fact running into the portals. After checking the chest, we know this machine is in business. We build up in the center of the farm, making a small AFK room and build our way back down, finding that the yields from simply building the AFK room itself were incredible incredible as well. Nice. To really give it a test, we actually AFK this time for just about 15 minutes, and just look at that goddamn haul. Incredible stuff, I tell you, and since it's working so great, we take all the ominous bottles it produced so far and head home immediately. Now that we have enough bottles to get Andre the Giant pissed drunk, it's time to build the actual raid farm itself, which we'll be making based on another tutorial from Voltrox, though the farm itself was designed by Insanity21. As usual, the link for the tutorial is in the description just for you. We first gather up all the components we need, and notice that it's looking like a shockingly easy build. The palette of items needed for the farm are incredibly simple, so we're able to gather up what we need quite quickly. We head behind the villager trading area and begin flattening out as much land as possible, filling in the lower pits of land as we go along so we have a nice smooth surface to get freaky as hell on. For ease of access to the farm, we carve out a long path from the villager trading hall to the future site of the raid machine. To start the farm, we dig a 5x5 hole and make a corner wall connecting it up at the top and placing a sign in it. Right after this, we place water in the opposite corner and dig down a few blocks where the water ends, hollowing out the room shortly after. We slap down a composter, a sign, some water flowing towards said sign, slap down a bed, some hopper and chest action, then we drive a goddamn boat directly into the bed we placed earlier. We put a cauldron down above the sign, fill it with lava, and give ourselves an escape route for when we want to leave the farm. Since the villagers in the iron farm work so hard shitting the bed every single day because we put a zombie 2 feet away from them, we drag another villager over to the farm to act as bait for a group of gray homicidal maniacs with magic powers and axes. We drop him in the water and he gracefully falls down into the farm, getting locked in the boat, where he'll spend the remainder of his days in crippling fear for his life. We put lava above the sign at the top of our farm, and with that being done, that just about completes this farm, meaning it's time to try out our new toy. We slam our first ominous potion in a similar fashion to Badlands Chugs and simply wait. Soon enough, we find the farm is working incredibly. These idiots fall directly into the pit of doom and despair, and we reap the spoils from it. We occasionally have to pop out and manually beat a straggler to death with a baseball bat, but that's just because our land's uneven. We could fix that later for all I care. I'm not even worried about it. We get plenty of delectable loot, including 4 totems of undying, which is absolutely delicious. To celebrate, we want to make that small auto furnace area we were raving about earlier, and it's a pretty quick and easy build, so we get right to it. We simply throw down a row of furnaces, throw a shit ton of hoppers underneath, behind, and on top of it as well, throw down some chests to take the items we want to smelt, as well as for our fuel source, then simply throw down some powered rails, normal rails, a couple hopper mine carts, and that's a goddamn auto furnace setup if I've ever seen one. We do another raid simply because it makes me feel ways my future wife could never dream of, and yet again get that succulent loot we desire. In regard to decorating our furnace area, we grab some glowstone from the Nether and make some redstone lamps with it, which are quite hot in my opinion, then place them along the roof, powering them with the lever on top, which isn't, that noticeable, I think. Then we throw some iron blocks in the mix, not only to compensate for our physical size and stature, but also to try and make it look like they're reinforcing our dirt palace. We top it off with some lanterns and voila, I think it works pretty well. On the subject of sprucing the place up a little bit before our untimely demise, we bone meal the grass on top of our enchanting and furnace area and absolutely love it. We build some silos around the melon and pumpkin farm as well to bring it all together. Utilizing a horseshoe kind of shape, I guess, we extend that shape all the way back, slap some lanterns in them, and bone meal it up on top, making it look quite creamy and steamy. In order to break up building and not go clinically insane from misplacing blocks repeatedly, we do another raid, basking in the practically free loot, as well as the sounds of pure terror from our beloved villager. Now in regard to if we beat the Ender Dragon, we'll need a steady supply of sugarcane to make paper for rockets, so we might as well whip one of those bad boys up before Doomsday, since they're also not too difficult to build. I found a cool design made by iCraftMC, and as per usual, the link for the tutorial I used is down in the description for your convenience. We start by digging out a large area and laying down some rails. Then we connect it with a comparator setup alongside our collection area so it deposits all of its juicy yields before heading off to collect more. We place blocks over the rails and slabs over the gaps, then fill each slab individually with water, which took such an inconceivable amount of time that I felt a year disappear off my lifespan every slab we filled. Considering we probably don't have very much longer to live now, we make haste and put blocks over the slabs with pistons facing outwards on top. We then put blocks on top of the pistons with redstone dust on top of that, plant all our sugarcane, and encase the bad boy in some glass. On our last few steps, we put some blocks above the farm with an observer viewing a daylight sensor, then simply connect the redstone up, completing our farm. Now we have easy, automatic, unlimited sugarcane, which will be a fantastic help, granted we don't get vored by a dragon, beaten to death by an enderman, or fall into nothingness trying to bridge out in the end. Oh, how the future's looking promising for us here at WaffleTime Inc., and the ultimate battle to come is just around the corner. How do we prepare further, I hear you ask? The only way we know how, sprucing up the roof of our base a little bit, adding random elevated patches where we could put our wheat, potatoes, beetroot, and carrots for looks and functionality on the rare occasion we need it. Every small step, precaution, build, or decoration we place is another beautiful thing we cherish that can turn to dust at a measly misstep during our final battle. I am stressed. We're officially on the last legs of our mission before taking on the Ender Dragon, and before we even think about that, I want to finalize our beautiful, humble abode. We start this by traveling out and collecting as many flowers as we can get our grubby gamer hands on. On the way back home, we find a brown mushroom and nearly shit our pants because I don't think I've ever seen, I have never seen one of these things before, so we trap him to circle back later. We adorn the living hell out of the exterior with tall flowers we collected, and hot motherfuck does it look beautiful and manly beyond comprehension. Check it out. We grab the brown mushroom and tie him up at our base, then continue adorning the outside of our house with the rest of our flowers, really bringing the place together along the way. Very nature, very sexy. I like it a lot, personally speaking. To top that off, we till the patches of dirt on the roof and plant wheat, beets, potatoes, and carrots to really make our home an absolute unit of a living creature. Now, when we hear labored breathing coming from the walls, we could just blame it on the nature above our home. I desperately want to fix the great lighting crisis of 2025 in this home, so we travel to the desert and dig beneath a tree, positively busting inside of a lush cave to collect plenty of moss as well as glowberries. Once we're back home, we carve out a grid where we want light and slap down jack-o'-lanterns with a moss carpet on top. We throw some glowberries on the roof, which will soon grow down and hopefully look goddamn magnificent. Then finish off our lighting by slapping down more jack-o'-lanterns along the borders, carpeting it up, and bada bing, bada goddamn boom, here's how it looks. Much better without torches, much more natural and clean. It's matcha. Our villager area is certainly looking like a horrendous prison, which, you know, it is, but I want it to look good from an outsider's perspective so we aren't subject to scrutiny from others. We start by shaving down the villagers' cell block homes, by shaving down their homes, then grow moss all the way down and around the villager area, which with the help of bone meal was quite easy to accomplish. We replaced most of the blocks of their quote-unquote homes with moss as well, and with a slight bit of manscaping along the balls and nuts of the area for ease of access to trading. We move on to lighting the place up by placing lanterns in the floor and covering it with, you guessed it, more moss carpets. This way, the Alley of Villager Agony has a whimsical glow about it at night. We throw some paintings up in the interior of our base as well, which, not to suck my own cock or anything, but I think it looks phenomenal. Check it out. Also, here's how the place looks at night. Incredible stuff, I tell you, hitting my brain's G-spot, so to speak. However, there's a catch. Our goals in the beginning of this video were to set up villager trading, build a comfortable home, make some auto farms, get full diamond or netherite armor, and lastly, kill the Ender Dragon. It's the last thing on our list, meaning it's time to gear up and go. We collect a vast amount of totems, golden carrots, blocks, water buckets, enchant our shield with Unbreaking 3, then take some time to perfect the ancient, forbidden, sacred art of water bucket clutching. Boom. Check that out. Nice. Hell yeah. It is time. We track down the nearest stronghold, and it's of course balls deep in the ocean, so we simply make the dirt tower of shame, then begin digging down. Soon stumbling into the stronghold, it's time to search, and man, I don't know a single goddamn tech for finding the portal room quickly. I am not very good at this, so we search. We explore hallways, corridors, long-ass stairs, behind metal doors, library after library, until finally, we arrive. We break the spawner and realize that it's now or never. We plunk in all of our eyes of Ender and simply take a moment to contemplate while staring into the abyss. We can lose it all. The automation we struggled to make. Our two beautiful cows who are likely very happy to have us milk soup out of them constantly. The debatably free-range villagers in the immaculate homes we've given them. Let alone our gorgeous abode we worked so hard on. The only way from here is forward, so we take the inevitable plunge. We spawn on an obsidian platform in the mouth of the void, absolutely pissing ourselves in the process, and ender pearl to the main island, water bucketing up to finally view the roaming beast we've been dreading for a staggering amount of time. Certainly there's no time to waste, so we begin taking out the pillars one at a time, quite literally missing every single shot imaginable in a display of our skills that are nothing short of degrading. But one by one we take them all out, taking minimal damage from the dragon along the way. As the dragon perches for the first time, we know it's time to hand deliver some devious licks to it, so we sprint forward and swing at the big bastard, soaking it in excellent damage along the way. This is when the inevitable happened. I am launched to the skies at Mach speed, watching my life flash before my very eyes. And wouldn't you know it, we actually water bucket clutch. It's goddamn worked. Our practice paid off. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it isn't a divine miracle. As revenge, we light up the dragon from a distance with our bow and actually manage to dish out a handful of solid hits. It begins to perch once more, and we find the absolute buffoon surrounded itself with dragon's breath. So we simply wait till it takes off once more. We keep launching absolute piss missiles at it with our bow, and wind up absolutely goddamn pelting it repeatedly, taking out out a huge portion of its health. It perches once more. This is it. We sprint up to it and begin swinging with all of our might at its oversized forehead, when suddenly, we're witnessing the dragon burst into beautiful rays of indigo light. We did it. We bask in our glory, our experience, and our pants, which we absolutely didn't wet from getting launched earlier. With no time to waste, we haul it over to a distant portal, which will lead us to an end city to prepare for end busting. But we'll have to explore that in the next episode, because with all of our goals being checked off, that just about completes this episode of Hardcore Minecraft. I really enjoyed making this video, so we're gonna do something fun. For every comment I get on this video within the first 48 hours of uploading it, I vow to replace one mycelium block on the Mushroom Island with a grass block. With any luck, we'll turn the Mushroom Island into a lush paradise. With that being said, thank you very much for watching and getting this far in the video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more content like this, as well as leave a comment or 20 down in the comment section below to let me know your thoughts on this video. Be sure to let me know what you'd like to see in the next video as well. While I'll still make goals for us to meet in the next episode, I'm absolutely open for fun suggestions from you guys as well. Be sure to follow the Instagram and Twitter for video and stream updates. And if you guys want to watch me have an anxiety attack playing Minecraft live, make sure to follow the Twitch as well. All those links are down in the description for your convenience. Thank you all so much again for watching, and I'll be seeing all of you people in the next one. WaffleTime Dragon Slayer Edition out.